Hello YouTube, and welcome back to a little bit of a time skip. I may have made a few mistakes in trying to get this all prepped and ready to rock and roll, and I'm sure editor me was a little bit more liberal in cutting out some of the extraneous stuffs and getting all of this produced. So hopefully nothing too egregious was missed, other than, well, we've expanded just a tad bit over here. By a tad bit, I mean a lot of bit. We've got a lot of industry up and running over here. And look at all that power. 24,000 units of power right there just raging. Oh, and then a little bit of a science being produced over here. Just a tad bit. So science is exploding in a nice way, so that's beautiful. This is still moving. I might have gotten a little explosive happy over here. So you'll see there's a lot of dynamite laying down here. And this is all in preparation for a couple of things that I want to do today. One of which is get into here. We're going to block this off and then feed this water either down and in or up and over into our main reservoir over here, which we're still storing copious amounts of water in. And then the other deal is we're going to finish this off. So my plan here is, and stick with me as I explain this, is get all these aquifer drills up and running. If I can click on it, it won't let me click on it. There we go. And we'll get the aquifer drills up and running. This will be a reservoir for water. Any excess water will backfill over here and then overspill into this area. And that will then in turn fill this area, and that will come down here, and that will trickle feed this whole system, which I have prepped for our next expansion. So I've cleared out some of the berries back in here so that we can get into this area, block this off so we can capture water. Now I'm going to have to figure out a way to capture water on this end so that we can trickle feed that with another set of sluice gates on this end, but that in theory shouldn't be that hard of a deal to ask or get knocked out, so that should be relatively simple for us to do, which means we can expand. I'm thinking more trees down here. I don't know which way we're going to go with that. I feel like we're good on mangroves, maybe more oak. We're kind of, oak's not a bad idea. Or we do more coffee beans. We're kind of bingo coffee beans right now. Maybe that's what we'll do down here. We'll just put in a huge coffee bean storage area, or not storage area, production area, and that'll be beautiful, and we'll be able to keep up with the demand there. Obviously, we have exceeded it. We have no coffee beans available to us. We still have a little bit of coffee floating around, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we have 2,000 units of coffee floating around, so that's pretty good. That will be nice for our overall beaver happiness, which is up to 37. If you see that, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And another thing we might knock out today is probably run a little bit of power over here and set up our beautiful tribute to ingenuity. Now, that's going to require a little bit of a material, but in theory, we should be good on all of the material here and should be able to build this relatively easily. The question is, how do we want to center this, or do we even want to center it and have like one on either side? We should have the power, 600 horsepower. We have that in spades, I believe. So we'll probably just run some power out of this smelter here and then have it just hanging out over top of this entire area, and we'll start working on getting our overall population well-being maxed out, and it should just be relatively simple, placing in various decorations and so on and so forth within here. So the brazier, the beaver bust, the beaver statue, the bell, the clock, all of these things don't add to their overall well-being, so that's not something I'm too concerned about on that end. So let's go ahead and get this game unpaused, and we're going to get over here and we're going to tell them to come finish this up, and then let my game completely have a little hissy fit, and then we're going to rip that out, and we're going to cap this off right here and put that in right there. Give this a small little bump right there, right here. And we'll let them go ahead and put all of that in. And of course we need to run our power across here. Maybe we flip this around just so it's a little bit nicer for us as far as running our power in and through here. It's a tad bit ridiculous, but everything that we do is a tad bit ridiculous, so I'm not going to complain about anything here. So that should be relatively simple. They'll get in here, they'll start chucking all of that in. There's not much else that they're working on building wise, and if you'll have noticed, we have a few bots roaming around and doing some building for us. And I don't know if I pointed out the fact that we have 2 bot assemblers running, and we've also got 6 bot factories up and running. Everything's doing pretty solid. The only complaint and or concern that I have right now is we don't have much in the way of storage for some of these things, and I think we probably need to swap this over to soybean storage, because I don't think I have that quite yet, or I was supposed to put that somewhere and I completely neglected to do so, which is totally likely. It may have happened. I have a tendency to do ridiculous things like that. Maybe what we do is we come over here and we tell them to rip some of this out here real quick, and then we put in a thing for canola seeds, which we already have a fair amount of canola seeds floating around. We've got a fair amount of... we need a large thing of storage for canola oil, because that is going to be a concern for us in the near future. Let's go ahead and swap this over to canola oil, since our presses are right here-ish. So they can start storing all of that in there. And I've been slowly replacing all of these positions with bots as things have been... as our bots have come into... come to life. Words are hard. So that has been pretty neat. The majority of our beaver populace and or our manufacturing district is all bots, except for a few of onesie twosie things like some of the coffee breweries. I haven't swapped over the food factories yet, but all of the places theoretically where our beavers could get injured have been replaced with bots. So in theory, we shouldn't have any more issues with our beavers getting hurt anymore. I'm just now realizing that I have this running all of these excavators and everything. Oops. And running this little number cruncher. So we'll probably pause the number cruncher over here. That's kind of not necessary anymore. And we're kind of full on dirt anyway, so I'm not too concerned with all that. I am very happy with how this turned out power-wise, though. 23,000, 24,000 horsepower, rocking and rolling against the free world. It is beautiful. It is amazing. It makes me so happy. So happy to see all of that actually working for us. So that is beautiful. Another thing that I want to do, and this is going to have to wait on our drought to end, actually, is, well, they've already got all of that in. So would you look at that? Beautiful. So we'll go ahead and get that connected in there. So as soon as our drought ends, this will start filling in. We can get rid of it. I don't think it's necessary. We probably don't need that to be hanging out there. We'll do a little bit of cleanup while we're waiting, I suppose. There's not much else we can do. I kind of want to get in here and blast a little bit more of this out. But what I was trying to say is, so this will overspill and fill in this area. This will trickle fill that side, and then water will overfill on this end. And what I would like to do is go ahead and remove this. And honestly, we can probably remove this as well. Now, this is going to prevent us from getting across the way, which is easily rectifiable with a little bit of beaver ingenuity, like such as, and like such as. Or we could do this, and then just do this right here, and it would be a lot less crazy. We'll probably do that. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. So let's get that put back in so they can gain access to all those things. And get back to pumping all the juices and keep doing stuff for us. Alrighty then. My game has been lagging extremely much lately, which is mildly obnoxious, but it is par for the course, especially when we get into this later half of the gameplay. So that is annoying, but expected. Now, what did we want to do here? I think what we want to do is put in some doubles right here. I think we need 6 across, like that. Let's go ahead and just fill this in with a little bit of dirt. Did I want that like that? I don't think so. I want this right here, and I want power up. No, I don't want power up. How do we want to do this? Let's see here. I want to rip that out. I would like to run power through here. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Go ahead and run power through there. That should take but half of a second for them to put all of that in. And then we want these overhangs like this, and then like this. And then we want... do I want triple or quadruples? No. Let's do just triples. That's all we really need here. We'll do that. They've already ran that pretty quickly. The question is, does this connect? It does. Beautiful. And then all we need to do is just put that one Bad Johnny in right there. And then what we need to do is put this in right here. Put this in right here. Put this right here. And now all we need to put in is this little piece right there. And then that should be quite nice. In theory, we should be able to unlock our monument, Tribute to Ingenuity, and put this right here and right here. I like it. And that should go in really quickly because all the materials are literally right there. And it's just a matter of them building up the last few pieces here and there. And that will be glorious. That will be a beautiful upgrade to our beaver happiness and so on and so forth. Now, additionally, we can put in a couple small ridiculous things like this. And do some decoration stuff on this side as well. So we can do a beaver bust here, a beaver bust here, and then a brazier here. Yes, and then a brazier here. And then a beaver statue here. Beaver statue here. And then a bell here. Flip that to that way. That goes like that. That'll be glorious and beautiful. And we could probably do the same on this backside. I'm not opposed to that at all. That will give us a little bit more happiness. We do have a nice little bump there coming from somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where that's coming from, but I will accept it. And let's go ahead and just do the inverse here. So that looks like that. That looks like bell on this side and then bell on that side. And then you are... flip that around and then flip this around like that there. Beautiful. And then our beaver bust goes there and there. That should provide everybody with all of the happiness that they need from all of those items. And then we'll need to find out a place to put our bell here. Not bell, clock. Clocks don't provide that much in the way of overall coverage, but in theory we should be able to just put something like this in. That'll be like, here's your clock time. You guys, as you guys run into the two-way station, that'll be good. And then we could do something similar on this side as they're running to the two-way station. You know, They've got to maintain a level of punctuality, these beavers. Otherwise, they're going to be late for everything, and we can't have that. That'd be just a tad bit ridiculous, don't you think? Now, that is in, that is connected, and there goes our overall happiness. It's already bumped up to 43, and it should keep going to 44, and look at that go. Look at that go. We still have another... Oh, the bells. The bells are ringing. Ah, was not expecting the bells. All right, 48, 49, 50. Oh my goodness, our beavers are happier than ever, and we're here for it, darn it. We're here for the happiness. So much happiness for our beavers. It's glorious. It's amazing. Don't need that one there. That's fine. Sweet. Now we can go ahead and start replacing some of these builders with bots. I kind of think this needs to go away. This is a tad bit unnecessary, and this is definitely unnecessary. I just don't know what to put in those positions. We're kind of full on everything. We're still waiting on the end of this drought. 1,800 horsepower is good. This is in and connected. I do want to run a two-way station over here now. And I do need to get some sort of power going for these guys. Let's just do some quick maths here, just because I am woefully terrible at doing this. So that is, we have to look here. It's 400, so that's 800 plus another 600 for this, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the wrong button. This button, 700. So 1,500 horsepower. We are producing 1,800 horsepower. So we could, in theory, put in 8 of these, right? 1,500, no, six of these. 6 of these bad Johnnies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then run this in right there, run that there, run that there. That will give our bots here a place to recharge without too much consternation. Now we can think about other things, like I want to probably get this up and running and consolidate some of this and run the water out a little bit nicer than it currently is. Run some power in here. These things here, 0 requirement for them. So we're going to go ahead and rip all that out of here. That's just an obnoxious thing for us. Doesn't provide us with anything. And I think we might fill this all in with water, or not water, dirt. I feel like that is a better use of our real estate. And this irrigates a fair amount of this area, so that is good for us for the foreseeable future. Now, I understand I am taking full advantage of this broken, this broken game right now. So, sorry about you, devs. I didn't break your game. You guys broke your game. That probably doesn't sound very nice, but I didn't do it. Okay, if anybody has any qualms with the current setup of this this playthrough, we can bring it up with the devs, or bring it up with myself for having started the game a little bit too early and just created a problem for myself. Which is, you know, it's mildly acceptable. I can accept the appropriate levels of yellage. Okay, I understand I may have done a 10-bit ridiculous things by starting, like, day 1 of this playthrough, meaning that things are bound to change, and definitely should have known to expect those things to change. So that's on me. I accept the responsibility for that. That all being said, I do want to run a little bit of a way over here. So I would like to go ahead and start working on getting our way in and around this area. So that means blasting down here. And then from there, we are going to... Well, how deep do we need to go? I don't know. Do I need to go to the bottom of the map? I shouldn't need to go to the bottom of the map. Let's go 2 down here. 2 down. Go ahead and rip all the way down here. Oh my goodness, that bell. That bell is going to give me a heart attack every single time it does that. All right. Let's go ahead and just run this all the way across here. That is our water source there, so that is a good marker for us to aim towards. We'll just go ahead and do all of this, like such as, gonna rip that out right there. Give me our thing here. Pause this and see where that puts us. Right in the middle of the thing. So, not exactly where we want to go. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. Down 1 more, 2 more, 6 more. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just go ahead and pause that just to make sure we're in the right spot. Nope, we missed it by 1. Cool. That's fine. That one's easily deleted. Now we can just go ahead and backtrack and then connect this up like such as, and try not to make a mess out of everything. That means getting rid of all that, getting that cleared out of here, and they've already started working on a tad bit of this, which is good. We can blast that out, and we can rip this out, and we can start working our way down here. And that means getting some stairs in and through here, and then connecting that like such as. Now, we can blast this down, and probably hit this triple dynamite right here as well, and that will be something for them to work on. On top of that, we could probably branch off and connect this water storage area. We could probably clean a little bit of this up too, you know. Not exactly the cleanest. That provided us a little bit more real estate over here, so we can plant a few more bits of canola. Is this necessary anymore? I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think this path is necessary here anymore. I do want to blast this down because I did say that I wanted to do that. What are you? You're treated planks. You're pine resin. Why is pine resin over here? These are the questions I ask myself at night. Like, why did I do this? Why did I do that? Why did I do anything? And the answer is typically because I did the goober thing. Which is an acceptable answer. Honestly, I can accept that as an answer. If you want canola seeds, we are going to need copious amounts of canola moving forward because we're going to be breaking into the next tier, the grease factory, which requires extract, and it also requires canola oil, which is slowly being produced, which means we should probably expand that production line just a tad bit, which means breaking in and blasting some of this out in here, and that gives us a little bit more real estate to work with back in here. That's not a bad place for any of that to go, and then we can just go ahead and put in right here, not hydroponic garden, oil presses right here. 4, 5, and then we don't need to go this deep. Then that just goes in like such as, and then we run this path along this way. as soon as they can get to it. Which they are working on really quickly. I am thoroughly impressed with the sheer volume and scale at which these guys move and groove. I'm very happy about that, which means things are getting moving fast. We do have a bunch of biobeavers floating around doing nothing with their hands, though. I feel like we should probably expand a little bit of our beaver population into something else. I also would like to do something a tad bit ridiculous and put this in right here, and then probably another right here. Put that in right there, and then we need that move over one more right here. And then that goes right here. Now, that's not going to produce any juice for us for a minute, but in theory, that should be able to pop off and do the things that it needs to do. I wonder, actually, hold up. No. Can I do this? Will this work? Will that work? I would love to know this. It does work. Why didn't I think about that ages ago? Why did I not think about that ages ago? I feel dumb. I feel super dumb. I'm gonna blow this out when wait, I'm gonna kill this. Oh. Yeah, duh. Okay, give me you. Alrighty then. Those are all full. Beautiful. Did they get down into here? That bell, I swear, is going to give me a heart attack. How are we doing on all of this? It's probably painfully slow because they can only reach so far. On top of the fact that they can only touch one at a time, which is a tad bit ridiculous. It's fine. It's what we have to, what we've come to accept. And I think we need to actually tear this out and re-evaluate our whole setup up here for the hydroponic gardens. I feel like this is probably not the most optimal setup for this up here. And I think I am going to do that, honestly. Let's go ahead and do that. We have 5 days until we can get things up and running anyway, so we might as well take advantage of this time that we have available to us and go ahead and work on bettering our beaver selves, you know? Why not? So let's go ahead and rip this across right here. Let them come up here and build all of that for us. That should be relatively simple for them to knock out. That's already in. That's all connected. We can also put that in right there, which means we can go ahead and connect all of this up, like such as. Probably would have been smarter. Nah, we can't. We couldn't have run that anywhere else, so that's fine. Wow, they are zooming. Okay, how are we doing down here? Come on, King. Fight me less. I really wish there was a way for me to get down there a little bit easier. How's this coming along? That's in. They can now access that. Maybe I blast down to that on this side, and then we can just work our way in that way, and then we can backfill that just so it doesn't look absolutely awful. That is an option. Okay, hydroponic gardens. So, I want to do something kind of like what we used to do. I'm going to pause the game just so it doesn't give me a heart attack every time I do this. Like this. So, that goes in like that. And then we grab all of these. And we rip this across like such as. Tear this out. We tear that out. Probably go one more out on this side just so we can fit in. Can we not? Can we not? Okay. How about if we did something like this and then a little cheeky thing like that? Yeah. And that give us this option? It does. There's probably no reason for us to be doing that anyway, but whatever. We'll do that. Okay. So, let's see here. Hydroponic garden back in here. That's this one, and that's this one here. Then what we want to do is set up that right there, and then we also want to set this up, this right here. Then we can do another set of hydroponic gardens on top of that. This is probably a tad bit ridiculous, but meh. I am here for it. Okay, so that's all in. Give me these. Fill all of these gaps in. Put this in right here. And now we go ahead and backfill all of that. Backfill all of that. And that's all connected. Now we have how many? 12 mushrooms and 12 algae? Is that good? Is that excessive? Maybe. Maybe a tad bit excessive. But that's fine. I'm here for it. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and let them go ahead and work on all of that. We should have all the materials readily available for them to knock all that out, so that shouldn't be a concern for us. I do think we need to probably pull back a little bit on our blueberry production because our consumption is not meeting our production requirements, which is fine. I am happy to see that this is still pretty full after 18 days worth of a drought. It might have something to do with the fact that we still have 26,000 units of water readily available for our 300 beavers. And we haven't really tapped into the refineries yet, which are going to consume... No, it's not going to consume anything. Yeah, the grease factory doesn't consume water, so no, that's folk tales. That's folk tales. I'm going to pause this real quick because I've completely neglected to change this into mushrooms. No, we don't need to prioritize by haulers. We're going to copy this across the top here. We're going to change this side to algae, and then we're going to copy this across all of these things. And then what we can do is be a tad bit ridiculous on top of everything else that we've been doing here, and grab this, put this across, and do a 1x10 all the way across there. Try to not make a mess of everything that we're working on down here. Tell them not to build that one. Can we not? This is... Yeah, we need to actually get rid of that. So you go away. Yeah, I know. And we want you... Double. No, single. No, double. No, yes. No. Single. We want to come out 3. Then that needs to go up. That needs to go that, like that, and there, like that. And then we can replace this like that and that. And then we can place our Johnny in like there. And then I'm realizing my mistakes. Come on, game. Stop fighting me. That'd be great. That goes there, and then we need a triple here, I guess. Then we can just do a little double action there. And then a little something like that. Probably... Yeah, we can get away with a little bit less material burnt than that. Though that one probably not so much. So we want there... Then, like, such as... And then... Triple here, single, and then a double here. Aha! Now, that just means that we get to toss in this two-way station. Check on how this is coming along. It is. Make sure we're not accidentally blowing any of our beavers up. That has gained us access to all that. Now we can go ahead and chuck that in right there. That should be something relatively easy for them to knock out. I probably should have done something a little bit easier for them as far as getting all the materials up here for all their stuff, but it's too late. Now we need to see where this pathway is, which it's moving. It's grooving. Need to connect it. Now I want to find out. So let's see here. Go and rip this down. Go up. Oops. So that is there. Let's pause that one. Let's see where that is. Nope. Game. Alright. That is not exactly the best spot for that. But it is something that we can work on. We'll branch off, I guess. So we need to come over 1, 2, 3. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna pause the game just because it's being a little bit obnoxious with me. Come on, game. Okay, grab you. You're the one that's paused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's pause this one. I'll come back up to the top, see where that lays up. It does just fine right here. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and chuck in a triple right there, and then unpause the game. Let them rage against the machine. Unpause the game. Let them rage against the machine. Beautiful. All right. Now, what are we missing here? Feel like we're missing a few stations for our bots to chillax and get a little bit of juice up and running. And we could probably go ahead and chuck in a few control towers just to make these bots move a little bit better, a little bit quicker, a little bit more aggressively, you know? And we could probably replace these medium tanks with large tanks. We have the materials, we have the capacity, we have the know-how, we have the technology. What are we waiting on for all of this? Probably for them to build all of that. Which they are, so that's good. And now we can also grab this, pull this down in preparation for this bad Johnny to be ripped across there and there. Beautiful. That is ready for us to go. Boom! And then we'll do another triple right there, and that will get knocked out. Then once that's down at that range, we should be able to very easily finish that up. I'm sorry, I'm still stalling. We're stalling for the end of this drought because I'm so super excited about getting into our next our next endeavor, you know, which is going to be beautiful. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be fantastic. I'm realizing now that I probably didn't need to blast all that down. That was a tad bit excessive and tad bit ridiculous of me to do so. This is fine. Yeah, it's okay. We'll get down there. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. 2, 3, and then we'll just go ahead and put the staircase down there, and that will be where we do the things, and then we'll rip that out, put our last set of stairs in, and then we'll just go ahead and grab the path and rip that out as far as we can. All right. Drought is ending here in the next 6 to 9 seconds, which is amazing. We have so many things glowing gloriously. We do need to click on, we can actually unpause that. We can hit this dynamite. This should show us that, which it does. Give this a max priority. So we can backfill all of the things. How is this coming along? Can they reach this? They can. Should be able to accomplish that. I don't know why they are working on it. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay, that is exploded. Now we can rip that out. That should be on the same level. We can unpause you, grab you, and rip this up all the way to the top. And beautiful. Now we can add our little tubeway station in right here. Once they get this built, then they can build that. And then this reversal should be a little less painful. Maybe we could figure out a way to get access to this level right here a little bit easier. By putting... Can you guys move these? That'd be great. Thank you. Doing something like that. Don't know if that will help out a lot, but it makes me feel better. Give this a priority bump. They shouldn't accidentally build anything out of order there. They should not be able to, theoretically. They are making good progress down here. We need to give them a little bit more pathway, pathage here, and then a little bit more pathage here. 53 on the happiness. Look at that. Look at that. It is so beautiful. I would love to actually run this power through here, but then I'd have to do some weird power not make water go everywhere problem solver thingamabobber, and I can't be bothered. But look at that! We're running! The aquifer drills are up and going! Look at it go! Look at it go! It is beautiful. Hopefully, this is enough to fill this whole thing in. In theory, it should be. Kind of should have them just come out here and clear all this stuff out. Shouldn't need to come back over here anytime soon. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. That means we can save a little bit of real estate on the computer side. Now this will start pumping the water out and through and over. And then this should stay closed until we get this whole thing set up down here. Which we should be able to do now, honestly. Let's go ahead and put in a dam here. Let that be a working area for all of that. Did I not have you marked for cutting back here? I don't. Just wondering why that hadn't been cut yet. And same for all of that. And same for all of you. What am I doing with my life? Okay. That'll get put in relatively quickly. That'll be nice and simple for them. The question is, how much of this real estate can you guys cover? And that's a fair amount. And then you should be able to cover a fair portion on this back side. We give you a little bit of staircase action back in here. You can probably plant a few more mangroves for us. Don't know why I haven't planted mangroves down there quite yet. That's on me. I should have done something about that. This is fine. Look at this. Look at it go. It's hydrating. We are hydrating the world. Let's get rid of this. Bloop. We're hydrating the world. It is beautiful. It is glorious. That's already a good tile full too. Heck yeah, let's go. That is so beautiful. So gloriously beautiful. It makes me so happy. Oh, we can blast this out too. Okay. In theory, Everything should be fine. To blast this. I've been waiting so long. Blast all this out. Gonna rip that out. Oh, I shouldn't. I foobarred that one, and I missed one right there. How could I have missed that one? That's fine. That's easy fix. We'll get this ripped out real quick. And we'll get that done right there. We can go ahead and rip that out, and then give us another set of pathing in here, just so they can reach all that. Oh, they already have access on that. Oh yeah, on that side. I didn't need to do that. Duh. This is fine. Okay. So now we should be able to hit that button. And hit this button. And then hit this button. And we should be able to hit this button. I kind of think we need to put one more floodgate in right here. And that means that you guys get to be max priority. Just because I don't want to have any issues with that. That comes out like there. Game, stop biting me. Please and thank you. And you are all triples. Triples for all my friends. Then that just, they should be able to reach all that without any issue there as well. Awesome. That is ready for us to go. That is almost ready for it to go. It is. I love it. I love a good explosion in the morning. Puts hair on your chest. At least that's what I tell myself to sleep at night. Don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about that kind of commentary. All right, everything's fine. All right, everything's okay. Okay, beautiful, glorious. We'll finish filling in all of those spaces there. That's already ready to go. We can now blast more of this out. Huge. This is huge. We have so much water storage, and it's not even, well, it's cycle 30. It is kind of, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, though. All right. Look at it go. Did they get this put in? They did. Now, let's go ahead and rip that out here. Rip you out here. And I need to put in sluice gates on this side. And I want you close above depth of 0.3. And that should be relatively easy for them to knock out. We'll go ahead and just max that priority-wise. This is all green. This is what I wanted to see. I want to see all of this beautiful and green. This is slowly filling into. So we're on the end, or coming up on the end of day 3. We're 3, almost 3 tiles deep right now. And that will be good. This will continue to fill up, and then once the water depth reaches 0.9, it'll overfill and continue out over this way. So in theory, we shouldn't be wasting any material, any water at all. At least that's my going in argument. I hope. Theoretically, it should work that way. I don't want to get over here and blast some of this stuff out, but I can't be bothered, and we'll come over here at some point. This is a beautiful, beautiful reservoir. Look how massive and, like, yeah, it's not very deep, okay? It's very wide, though. All right. How are we doing this way? 207 horsepower total. Network supply, demand. Did that not? Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay. Now I know. It does not work like that. I don't know why I thought it would. I am the dumbs. Don't worry about me. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. You're right. Everything's fine. That's built. That's good. So we should be able to go ahead and rip this out. And then rip this out. And also rip this out. And then we just backfill those positions that have been removed. Give them their path back, you know, just so they can get back to work. And they're a little bit stranded, you know, we don't want to have stranded beavers. But yeah, there we go. We are filling this side in 0.35. That'll open and close appropriately. It should not, in theory, overfill on this end at all. We can probably go ahead and remove that guy right there. Give us access to this end, and then we can crawl down, or maybe we just rip through here. Honestly, that's probably for the best. No, not that one. These three, sure. And then we come down like there, and then we do stairs like this and like this. Nope, 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 don't build those. Don't build those. Thank you. And actually put this in here so they can put in this last little bit of work there. Good, good, good. And then we just put in something like that. And something like this, and like that, and then like this. We put this bad Johnny in. We put in two. Maybe two. Yeah, two might be the answer. Let's do two. Just because we can. Go ahead and do two foresters. That should work there, honestly. Let's just do that and that. That's probably for the best anyway. Go ahead and rip that out, rip that out. Put this in right here. Probably flip this around just so we have a little bit easier access to that bad Johnny. Put this in right there. And that goes like there. That connects there, 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 there. And then there. And now we can plant all of the things. And also put in our gatherer flags. Right here. 4. I feel like 4 should be good enough. Now we just plant the rest of our coffee bushes. Bada bing, bada boom. This is probably a tad bit excessive, but you know what? Excessive is my middle name today. And then this other side can be oak. But first we have to put in our places for our lumberjack flags. Probably put in more than we need just to make sure that we cover down appropriately. And then that goes like such as. We do have a drought incoming, or not a drought, a bad tide incoming, which is not fun. Actually, hold up. Can we put this in right here? Maybe we can help them out. Get up there and help out a little bit. Yeah. Now we just need to mark all this for cutting. I don't know if that's all marked for cutting or not. It's kind of hard to tell. Yep. We can mark that for planting. Give me this. Give me that. I don't know. Just, no, that's not the right level. Okay, that should be good. Wow, my... Look at that. Look at that. I probably should have put that on a dam instead of on just regular dirt. Maybe that's what we'll do soon-ish. I'll have to figure out a way to get over top of that to do that, but this is working as advertised. And in theory, this should stop when this reaches a certain depth. What that depth is, I don't know. Probably the 1.0, I think, is the depth that it stops at. So once the bad tide starts, we'll probably need to close this floodgate here just to ensure that our water's not escaping and filling into this reservoir on this side. I feel like that's probably the optimal way to go about doing that. And I just realized that we're going to miss that spot right there. That's really obnoxious, really annoying. And I want to fill this. I want to... Nope, 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 nope. There. Come over here. Quick, quick, quick. All right. Got 2 days. This is actually pretty darn full, even with everything blasted out of it. This is actually kind of crazy. They are planting that one piece of dynamite right there, which is ready to go, which means we can now rip this out, which means we can then put this piece in real quick, which means we can hit this button right here. And while that's going on, we're going to come over here and check on this shtick. See how this is coming along. It is at a standstill because they can't reach it anymore? Question mark? Just fine. I think we can probably get those emptied out. There's no reason for those to be filled. That is actually pretty full. Like really full. Yeah, I need to put that on a dam. Yeah. Just so we have a bit of a cleaner flow of water. Maybe we deepen this just a tad bit and pull this down just a hair, just so that we don't have an issue. But yeah, that's a lot of water. That's going to fill this whole area in very nicely. And it's already max capacity, which is amazing to see. We can blast this out. We can blast this out. And we've still got a day and a half left to fill up the rest of this reservoir, which is so beautiful. Go ahead and get that in real quick. Probably blast this stuff out real quick as well. Just because we have the will and the way. Give this a priority bump. I shouldn't need to because there's not much else going on out there that requires my direct attention at this point. But it makes me feel nice, okay? Right. That in, and then... Wow, we are full on planks and logs. Gears are a little bit further behind than I would like them to be, and we have a lot of bots running around with nothing to do with their hands. Let's change that. Let's go ahead and put in a little bit more storage for bad water. Copy that to those two. That'll give them something to do with their hands. And I think we're set. I don't think we need to do anything for this bad tide that's about to kick off. Everything should be fine. The only bad water source that's not capped right now is this one. And that has a way out, and everything else is controlled. The next we could get down here, expand our power production just a tad bit because we are 9,000. We're a little shy on the water. I do think we need to come in here and fill this in though, potentially. No, we shouldn't need to do that. Do have to remember to close that off when this does stop. Now that is filled. This does need to come down a little bit because we are overfilling it again. Just fine as long as we don't flood anything other than the deep water pumps. I'm more than happy with that. Did we get all this connected? We did. That is awesome. That is beautiful. That is amazing. And I am here for it. We can't come down here and blast some more of this out. Get another large reservoir in here, which I am actually contemplating doing. I don't feel like that's bad use of our efforts and or our time. These guys are planting everything to their heart's content. You can't reach as far back as I thought you could. That is not cool, Brosif. Why can you not reach that far? Okay. Interesting. Well, that'll be fine. You can reach far enough back that I'm not too concerned about anything. I do want to keep an eye on this whole situation down here. Pull this up 0.95. This should stop overflowing here shortly. Yes. Hello? Hello? Okay, you did stop. Now we just pull that up entirely. So that should keep it at 1.0 or thereabouts. I think that's... unless you make me into a liar. Or is that a visual glitch? I feel like that might be a visual glitch. Or we're just a tad bit over. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do actually is we're going to rip this out. We are going to put in our dam as previously discussed. Wow, that actually stops water. I did not know that. That is good to know. I did not know that. Give this some max priority. And now I need to give them access to that over there. Shouldn't cause a problem for us. There's a little bit of water going out. Oh, yeah, that's causing a problem for us. Yeah, let's go ahead and open that up just a tad bit. Yeah, that caused a little bit of a problem for us. Okay, still a little bit of a problem for us. This should all stop being an issue here shortly, hopefully. Maybe. Please? Thank you? Okay. Max priority. Get over here. Everybody! Everybody! Now, last thing that I wanted to do on this episode is finish up our connecting lines for all of our friends. And so, with that, I will say thank you for your patronage. And thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of the chaos. Thanks for being part of the fun. And for the accidental flooding. But, you know, that's par for the course for anything associated with anything that I do. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the pain, the suffering, the chaos, and all the fun things that we were able to actually get accomplished today. It was an absolute blast to get this up and running, to get everything moving and grooving, and to do some things that I haven't done before, which is pretty much anything associated with, or not anything associated with, but a lot of things associated with fluid dumps and fluid pumps. I'm not exactly the smartest when it comes to those things, and so getting the opportunity to play with mechanical fluid pumps and all of that, get all of the aquifers up and running, that is pretty neat. I'm pretty excited about this, and I'm very excited about having all this real estate claimed for even more planting and all the things, because we're kind of hurting on cassavas and soybeans and some other things. We're fixing a lot of the issues over here with the hydroponic garden, so that's going to be nice. And then we're also fixing some other stuff with the connection of the whole system down here. Anyway, I hope you guys had a fantastic time wherever you're in the world. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for being a part of the fun, the chaos, and thanks for being you. Thank you for being you. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a fantastic day wherever you're in the world. Stay safe out there. Stay thirsty. Stay hydrated. And keep rocking in the fur world. And we'll see you on the next episode of I Don't Know What to Do With My Hands. I'm out. See ya!